What is up, everybody? This is your host, Patrick Coyne.
Co-host, co-pilot, Javon Harrison in the building. Welcome back.
And this is the Black Sheep Experience. Please like, subscribe, and give us a follow. If not, we're both going to sleep great tonight. Welcome to the show. Welcome back, Black Sheep Land. It is episode 5. It was supposed to be episode 1 of the Black Sheep Experience. It is your host, Patrick Coyne.
Co-host, co-pilot, welcome, 2023, Javon Harrison. It's supposed to be episode 1, but it's episode 5. Number 1 in our hearts.
Who's that guy?
Adam Baker. This is our, what's Joe Rogan's?
Jamie.
Yeah, this is our Jamie for today.
Jadam.
Okay, we'll call him Jadam.
Jamie. Where you want to go with it?
But our guest, he might be famous in Cincinnati. He's working on his worldwide fame. DJ Etrayn, also known as, who I know, Eddie Trainor. What's your middle name?
Edward Michael Trainor is my government.
I love that color you're wearing, man.
I appreciate it, man.
That's Outdoor Voices, right?
No, this is actually Vineyard Vines, but this is Outdoor Voices. And I have a Roback one in the car, too. Just shout out Roback.
A big shout out to Roback. If you guys are looking for a sponsor, because I know you guys sponsor everything, we need some.
We need that.
I heard they're really good at sponsoring podcasts.
I heard so, too.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Roback is an actual dog breed or no?
I would be lying if I gave you the truth. I don't know.
Ask Dak. Dak is a big dog guy.
Huge dog guy.
I don't know. I really don't know where Roback derives from. Baker, can you...
Look that up. Look that up.
That's why we got him.
Look him up, baby.
Okay, so back to the podcast. Why our amazing new... Okay, here we go. Roback gets its name from the Rhodesian Ridgeback. You gave this to the dyslexic person to read. I killed that. The dog breed in Africa to hunt lions. The Ridgeback perpetually craves activity and has an...
Perpetually.
Okay.
Shit. Craves activity and has an unmistakable ridge that runs down its back. I really am dyslexic, and I think I did a pretty good job. I got one word wrong. So, yes, it is. So, Eddie.
Good to be here.
Let's get back on track.
Great to be here.
I got a great, and I'm adding to this, I got a great comment or a compliment of this podcast. And it's just like, man, it's absolutely organized chaos.
Nice.
We can bounce around a little bit, and then all of a sudden, Javon comes to something intellectual, and it's an overall good experience. So I'm happy with that, and that comes from Mike Schuster.
Thank you, Mike.
Well, having listened to other episodes, I knew that it's what I'm getting when coming in here, and I love that.
Yeah.
I
It's just a
prefer
conversation.
that rather than a very scripted, you reading, like, this is question 1, this is question 2.
It's just
It's
forced.
not as fun.
No,
Yeah.
well, I think it's important where people know why we even started this podcast. It's therapy for me and Javon.
Really is.
Me and Javon's relationship was built off of really deep conversations. And all of a sudden, when work took over, we didn't have any conversations. It was just talking about work. And we had to figure out a way somehow to schedule our real deep conversations to help us out in life. And we're like, why don't we just record them?
Yeah.
So that's where this
Yeah.
podcast stems from. And that's what we're doing right now.
And that's what we love to do. And
I love to talk, so I appreciate y'all having me.
So, as we always start the podcast with, Eddie, what do you do?
So I am a multimedia host, DJ, you can use the word entrepreneur,
Definitely.
brand consultant, involved with a lot of brands. I like to say that I have my hand in multiple things, and I enjoy that because it breaks up the monotony of just doing what I did starting out, which was DJing. I started out with events and ran with our self-deployment team and Sean. We used to throw events, and I got into the music end and strictly just dove in with the music and was DJing. And I knew that I always loved the business end of everything.
Yeah.
And I loved being, on the mic and interacting and talking with people. And I truly can say that, every day is different. I don't know what new client might call. I don't know what new meeting might come up in the next week, and it's exciting. And, that's probably my favorite part of what I do. But, yeah. I do a lot of things decent, nothing really great.
I disagree. And I know we joke around a lot, but what I think you're best at, and I'll let Javon take over, I think you're one of the best client-facing people that is out there. You put yourself in a room, and you're going to leave there with 15 connections. You're going to leave there with everyone saying Eddie's very well spoken, he's respectable, he's personable. So, I mean, dude, that's a talent. Like, that's a talent.
yeah, beyond that, like, you're a likable guy. Like, you're going to leave out with 15 new friends,
I love making friends.
in my opinion.
I mean,
Alien friends.
Alien friends, real
shout
friends.
out. You know?
Shout out alien friends. But no, that's if I only DJ'd or sat and produced music, or kind of was just to myself, and I only did that, I wouldn't be that happy. And I'm most happy interacting with people, making those new connections, walking into that room, and I genuinely care like what everybody in that room does, and I love having those conversations because you learn about what somebody's doing. I don't always know, your backstory and what businesses you're involved in, and I always think that I love what I do and I love my profession, and I'm very thankful. But I also, there's other things I want to do, and there's other things that I enjoy, and this I'm not going to do just this one thing forever. I one life. I want to try multiple flavors, man.
100% can't be one-dimensional, as we call it. Exactly. You know what I mean? With that being said, looking back on your career, you've had a great career so far. What's your favorite event situation you've ever been a part of? Whether you're DJing, whether you're controlling the mic like a UC basketball game, what's been the funnest experience? Definitely
the collaborative effort of the mic and controlling the music. I can pinpoint certain events that were just unbelievable, and I got to experience something super unique, from the Bengals getting back into the playoffs in 2015 against the Steelers, the game that everybody hates to talk about, but that experience was unbelievable throughout. The game came down to the very end.
Right.
So just being able to be involved in that from front to back was really cool. MLB All-Star Weekend. That's probably my favorite group of events that we've ever had.
City was on fire.
We brought the All-Star game here in 2015, and it was such a unique experience because there were so many different types of events with the MLB involved. I was able to be a part of the celebrity softball game, from that to the players' party the night before, to the parade. The parade was probably the coolest part, emceeing the whole parade and getting to announce every single player. And there were a couple players in there that I
didn't
really know, and their names weren't easy to pronounce. But it was definitely a challenge. But being in the middle of our city, up on a stage as it's beautiful summertime, and we're welcoming in all of these different players from all over the world coming through our city and getting to announce and really help showcase Cincinnati in that moment was one of the top. And definitely as far as partnerships go, getting to work with Christ Hospital when we had our first child, our only child right now, getting to work with them through the process, and it just being a natural fit because my wife and I were pregnant, and we were able to go through that whole process as a partnership with the Christ Hospital and the birthing center and all that. So there's, and later on we can get into, maybe you can ask me some of the wildest events that
I have some great questions.
I got a funny story from MLB weekend too. I tried to.
This was a good weekend for us.
Yeah, this is back when we were nobody. We thought we were somebody though. So I heard Snoop Dogg's having a party. I'm like, oh, Snoop, we gotta get there, baby. We gotta get in that building. So I got the location. I'm like, all right, boys, we pulling up. I don't know.
It was a warehouse.
It was a warehouse. I'm like, I don't know how we're about to get in here, but we getting in. Get to the front door. There's security. I said, this is our only opportunity to meet the DOGG. We're going to have to slide. They did not let us in the front. No credentials.
Standard.
No credentials.
4 or 5 dudes.
I think I might be 20 years old, maybe not even 21 at the time.
I remember that line, and there were probably 300 women in line.
Yeah.
There was no way 4 dudes were cutting that line.
No, sir. No, sir. We didn't get in.
Bro, we got Savage Fitness t-shirts on. Let us know.
But we got close. I heard the music. It was cool. It was vibes, but next time.
One of my favorite parts of that weekend, one of the most legendary parts of that weekend, when they were introducing the softball teams for celebrity softball, Snoop Dogg was obviously one of the players, and I was in charge of playing the music when they were introduced and helping MC with that. And I was told that I was going to be doing that, and I'm like, damn, Snoop's going to be introduced. Which one? And so I went with my favorite Snoop Dogg song of all time is "What's My Name."
Okay.
And that intro, and then he came down the escalator, bro, and it was like, I'm like, oh,
that's magic.
This is wild.
That's what's up.
So picking up off that, obviously you're where you're at now. You're a brand ambassador. You're a true MC. I don't think when I was in college, like I said, you were a DJ at a lot of the bars that we hung out with and partied at. That's how we came to know each other, also both being from Ross. But I mean, my big thing is, how did it evolve from literally, I would like to know, tell people what self-diploma was, how you started. How did that evolve into a position you almost created? Now, again, it's getting bigger around the country, but you're the only one that I know personally that literally can go in, even if you don't play music, you're going to host the entire event. You're going to make sure it runs smoothly. You're going to keep people on track. How did that come about? Was that just a thing of that it didn't exist and there was a need for it, and your charm was like, oh, well, maybe I just can tell Eddie to do both and we can monetize it better? I mean, how did that kind of formulate and start?
I appreciate you saying that too, because I'd like to pride myself on bringing that to the table for an event. But
I love you, boy.
It didn't happen. That wasn't something that it's like, I want to do that and then went after that. It was something that came very natural to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it most definitely, at that time, I was working at, it was either working at Urban Active Fitness. Remember Urban Active Fitness?
Yeah. The one on Coleraine?
No, I worked at the Hyde Park one.
Oh, you're bougie. You're a real deal.
I wasn't doing Coleraine Avenue. I grew up spending time on Coleraine Avenue. No, but anyways, I was doing that, and then I also worked at like T-Mobile. So this was just something that was extra. I was like, oh, this could be cool. While I was going to school, and basically it took off from there. We started doing that, bringing people out to events, kind of hosting people, and that's where I feel like I learned how to navigate different groups of people, bring them all together, and then give them, show them a good time. And that's another favorite part of what I do is I get to help people leave their worries, their job they may have an issue with, or this and that. And when they come into the building, it's fun from there. I want to create that. I want to help them get away from that every day. And so that's kind of what we were doing. And we started to grow, and then we got into the concert side of it and did a show with Wiz Khalifa, Kid Cudi. Those were kind of our first shows. Yeah. And seeing what it was like to work with artists and be a part of that really sparked my interest from the music. And I've always loved music. In high school, my name derives from high school, from playing music at the parties and that type of thing. So I was always interested in it. And basically getting into the concert world even sparked it more. And then I started learning from DJ Mike B, Clockwork. I was watching Clockwork play sets, and then I'd go in the basement at our house and watch YouTube videos and borrow equipment and start kind of messing around with it. And I probably only played 3-6 Mafia and Cameron.
That's right.
For every gig. Like, it didn't matter. I was like, this is the songs I like. I'm going to play that.
Right.
And so was definitely learning on the go when I first started, and loved the music end of it. But just as much as I loved the music end of it, I loved connecting with people, and I loved helping to control the event, the environment, the party. That's what Mike comes in.
I mean, I don't think, I can't really relate. I've never been a DJ, never will be a DJ because there's people better at me, but I know me and Javon and Oak Baker here as well. All four of us have a massive love for music. I'm talking from the 1930s all the way to now. Like, we really have a very wide genre bandwidth, right? What I think at the gym, so say the gym's flat in the morning, right? You play a really good song and you start to see people move a little bit. Kind of forget about their day. They start moving their foot or tapping their feet or relaxing their shoulders. That has to be an incredible experience when you just move the whole room. Everyone's flat, then you put on like, what is it?
You gotta have a go-to. What's your go-to?
Oh my gosh. I mean, but there's so many. And real quick before I answer that, to the gym situation, I am an avid member of the Black Sheep family. I go there
daily,
4 or 5 times a week. It's my spot. It's my gym. And I love that you guys get that satisfaction from seeing that too, because to me, working out, when I come to the gym in the morning, it's my favorite part of the day. One of the favorite parts of the day,
100%.
Because it's the endorphins. It's doing the fitness end of it, getting to listen to the music and that type of thing. So I do leave conference calls, business, anything like that at the door, and I walk into that environment. So it gives me that. So it's good I can be a testimonial.
Yeah. So what's your go-to song? Like, crowd's dead, no one's got energy, no one's enjoying it. We gotta.
This is a tough question. People ask this often.
Can we guess?
I mean, I'll let you guess. I'm going to preface it with saying that there's certain songs that span genres and generations, And those type of songs, I feel like can always work to at least get that foot going, get that head bobbing.
All right.
And there's something that they can tie back to that, whether it's, a classic song or a newer song. But anyways, I'll let you three. I'm going to get bacon.
Okay.
Give me your three guesses on what,
you go first.
if I had to pick one song to energize, people sing along, energy, could probably hit.
I got it.
I've heard you play a lot of sets.
I got mine.
I don't know. I've heard him play a lot of sets.
Bake, you can't
See,
do
I don't
bro.
think I've never really heard you. I don't know if you can really hear me, but I'll say Jump by
That's
Crisscross.
a very good guess.
That's
Jump. You
I
said
appreciate
jump.
it. I appreciate it.
Crisscross. You want to go?
Because
I already know.
Return of the Mac.
Return of the Mac. I was going to say in the club, 50 Cent. Everybody been in the club. Come on.
So all three of those guesses, amazing. Typically, I start in a lot of events with Return of the Mac, but that's all right.
Oh,
come on,
People
baby.
walking in, 95 BPMs, that intro, legendary, as you grow throughout the night. There are two
Backtrack.
songs.
We don't know what 95 BPMs mean.
95 BPMs are 95 beats per minute.
Yeah.
And
Just
I
the
weirdly
tempo of the.
know all the BPMs of songs because
Oh, wow. That's impressive.
So he said that one day at the gym, and he's like, "Yeah, this one's like 110." I'm like, "What are you talking about? I can talk about heart rate. Are you talking about?" He's
Same
like, "No,
thing.
beats per minute." What has the most beats per minute?
What do you mean?
About heart rate.
I mean, there's, it goes all the way up. I mean, 100 and
Like
whatever
rock-
BPMs per
rock
minute. Well, a lot
music.
of the EDM stuff, that falls between, that like 128 to 133 or whatever range.
Yeah.
A lot of 90s hip hop is at like 90 to 100 BPM. A lot of trap music is like 65 to, 78, 80.
Gotta slow it down.
So, but there's, we won't get into the specifics of it, but two songs that I will say that usually hit with most all audiences. This Is How We Do It, Montel Jordan,
Ooh.
and It's Tricky, Run DMC.
Wow.
Ooh.
Okay, those are classics.
Two energetic, easy sing-alongs. A
No cuss
14-year-old
words,
knows
right?
it.
Yeah.
Classics.
64-year-old knows it. And then, you can break it down to demographics and all that kind of stuff, but those two songs typically can fit with whatever.
Interesting.
So
Definitely does.
my next topic, and it's similar, is you do events like Nespresso. You do events where you get flown out and literally there for a couple of days, which I think is incredible. Getting out of the city of Cincinnati and being creative and respected in your respective field outside of here is not easy to do. I think I don't want to talk shit, but I think it's pretty easy to blow up in Cincinnati. Just work harder than everyone, continue to show up, people are going to quit. Now, how do you make it in Cincy? So let me finish the question, but how do you make it in Cincy, and do you think it's because of your friend group? Because of me and Javon back in the day, we've been together for 9 years. Our friend group put out guys like Joe Andrews, has 1 million followers on Instagram, put out guys like Ty Lake. So there's guys in our network that are successful in our incubator now or outside of it, but I still think it's from those days back in 2015 where we're really starting to cultivate, hey, let's not go out, let's talk. Let's not go out, let's make a business plan. Let's not go out, how can we monetize ourselves? So how do you make it in Cincy? What's your perspective on that? And do you relate it back to that initial friend group in those nights?
I'll be the first to say that I owe so much to my friend group and to our friends that have helped support, build, be with us during all of the business, just the growth in general. Like, I will be the first to say that matters so much. And just from your guys' standpoint as well, with the guys that you mentioned, having that support initially, it's incredibly hard to be solo and try to grow within a city. Cincinnati is a big, small town, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's very loyal.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people, everybody knows everybody.
Very conservative.
Very conservative. Everybody knows everybody, and you guys know that through business, friendships, that type of thing. You can always make that connection back.
Right.
What high school did you go to?
Exactly.
That's the number one question.
Yeah.
Which I kind of hate.
Well, it's
I
what
hate
school did you go to? And if you aren't from here, you're like, oh, I went to UMass or Texas. It's like, nah. Like, did you go to Elder?
Yeah, what high school did you go
Moeller?
to?
Yeah.
So to this day,
Ross?
confuses Cassidy. She's like,
Yeah.
oh, I went to school in LA. And again, the person just pivots and completely leaves it
Yeah.
alone. Like, I won't talk to you. You're not
Yeah, we don't.
So do you like Skyline, and what high school did you go to? Do you like Cincinnati Chili, and what high school did you go to? If you don't know how to answer that, you're shunned.
I agree.
To the next if you aren't from here.
I definitely agree.
But
go ahead.
But no, yeah. So I attribute a lot to the friendship group because those were the initial supporters. Those people were the ones who pushed every single event I did. Like they were pushing me before I even fully learned how to DJ, before I even learned how to do it correctly or well enough to be out there and be performing for certain crowds. So I was playing catch up in the very beginning, where friends would push that or that event, or I'd be put in some cool positions through great connections, and it was a little. It was nervous for me because I'm like, hey, I've got to perform, I've got to put on because I want to come back,
Yeah.
And so I played a bit of catch up there in the very beginning to hone in on my skills and be able to be diverse across all the crowds that I was playing. But I will say that my music knowledge growing up with the influence from mom and dad, from the Eagles, classic rock, country on my dad's side. My mom was heavy into Earth, Wind & Fire, funk, into Bobby Brown, New Edition, like that kind of stuff. That really helped me in the very beginning because I could be put in front of any kind of crowd, and I understood music, I understood different generations, and was able to kind of build myself from there. But yeah, I 100% am thankful for the friend group starting out, and I owe a lot to them for how things have transpired in my career.
If you were to give a couple of tips on, so say me, Javon, and Baker are 16 years old, and the college education system, that's another conversation we can have, is going downhill at a rapid rate. There's varying reasons for that. Say that a lot of kids are now trying to not go to college, right? Because of the YouTube generation, the TikTok generation, the crypto. There's so many things that you can do to monetize yourself, right? If us three are sitting at a table at 16, 17 years old and looking at you, what are a few tips on how to make it in Cincy?
So first and foremost,
and make it could mean a lot of different things. Say be able to be able to pay your rent, continue to gradually grow into something. Be happy.
Yeah.
It might be bigger than yourself, but what are a few tips for people that are trying to entrepreneurial make it in Cincinnati?
Having a good product first and foremost, and honing in on those skills, whatever it may be, whether you're a florist, a DJ, you're in a fitness gym, anything like that, hone in on that skill, work on that skill, and learn every day about what you're doing. But just as important in my mind, like I said, is building the right connections and building that network. That to me is huge, and not burning your bridges, and genuinely ask the questions, work with different people, have those uncomfortable new meetings and conversations that, it's easy to just find a number and text it and be like, hey, I'm so-and-so, we should connect. But go have that coffee, go out for that drink, whatever you may do, see what you can offer, see what you can bring to the table as well.
Yeah.
A lot of people, when they are working connections or they're trying to make new connections, it's always like, what can that person do for me?
Yeah.
How can I benefit from them? More importantly, what can you bring to the table? How can it be mutual?
Right.
My favorite thing about events is I don't do one-off events, really. I don't want a one-off relationship. I don't want somebody to call me and be like, hey, I have this one event, we do the event, invoices paid, and I never talk to them again. Like, I want to build with each event and client that I have, and that's one of my favorite parts about the business is honing in on that. And I would offer the advice is to work on those skills and whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Make those connections, but do it the right way. You can send out a million cold emails, cold calls, that kind of stuff, but genuinely care about those conversations you're having, and don't look like you're just meeting up because you want something from that person.
Yeah.
Work with them, see how you can collab, and collaborations to me will take you so far. And in my mind, as you navigate through Cincinnati and all different sectors like that, that is how you will grow, and that is how you will continue to stay on path.
I love that.
Yeah, and going back to the friends, and shouting out the friends, shout out to your friends, shout out to our friends. Real friends will put you in situations that you don't think you're ready for, right? Challenging you to grow. That's a real
Throwing
friend.
to the wolves is the best way to learn.
That's true.
Trial by fire, baby.
A real friend is going to support you, is going to
Bake.
see things you're not going to see. There's definitely been situations in my life where Pat put me in a room like, man, I don't know if I should be here. it's like, you're definitely ready for this, and vice versa. That's real friends, man. So I appreciate you for that.
And that mindset is great to have. You want to. I do belong here. Like I should be here, even though you're questioning it. You know, why not you? The main thing that separates most people is there's so many talented people. Opportunity.
100%.
Give me that opportunity. Give you that opportunity to prove yourself. That's the hardest thing to do, is to get that opportunity. You know, you're great at what you do. You guys are great at what you do. Just put me in front of the right people. Let's go.
Let me show you.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
What even more powerful is when opportunity meets preparation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're preparing, you're in a state of preparation. A state of mind of preparation can mean, it's like the samurai or the martial artist or the Brazilian jiu-jitsu expert who's behind closed doors for years and years and years. They're an expert, they're a black belt, but they've never gotten into an actual fight.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, when all of your training can go to a subconscious place and you have to finally perform, I think that's a very special place to be. So I think a lot of people in the entrepreneur space are so prepared and so well read. If you ever hung out with me, there's a lot of times I'll throw myself to the fire and honestly not have the best knowledge or background on that topic, but I'm confident enough to make a relationship with that human being, if it's a person, that it's okay. I'll just sit down at the table no matter what.
Exactly.
But I think when preparation meets opportunity, that's when the real power starts to happen.
And you'll never know when that day may be.
Ever.
So we always say, it could be today. You better be ready.
Yeah. No, I'm 100%. And I think that's invaluable. That's advice that could go to so many different people, a broad array of people, but especially someone who may be younger and they may be at a crossroads of like, hey, I want to do this or I want to do that. And I'm a huge proponent of going to school if that's what you want to do. I'm a huge proponent of getting into a trade that you love because that's what you want to do, or starting a business because that's what you want to do. There's no one size fits all, and I think for so long, that's kind of how we were led to believe that you have to do this, this, and this on this path. And I think one of the joyous things in life is that nobody's path necessarily is the same.
Nope.
And it makes for an interesting story. So if college is what you need to do, then go to school. Kick ass. You want to start a business? Throw yourself to the wolves. Get that loan, do what you're going to do, and go.
It's a perfect segue, and we do have not really a script, but there's certain questions I want to ask, because when you're busy in friend groups, like we said, we started this to have conversation because we don't. And at the gym, I'm in the middle of my work day. You're one of my good friends. We have to cross paths because
I've already gotten yelled at for bugging you when you're training.
I'm in chaos. You're walking in and out, so we don't really get to have these conversations. And one thing I've always liked to ask all my good friends is, what does, and you're a father, not just a guy. You're a true father.
First and foremost, baby.
You're a great husband. You're a good father, and you're older than me. It's someone that I'm not a lot, but you're someone I look up to. You had your house before me. You had the wife and the kid, and I was like, man, how does Eddie make all this work and be an entrepreneur? So with all that being said, what does success look like to you?
Well, it's much different now, having a child, a wife,
Mm-hmm.
that type of thing. As you know, when a kid comes into your life, that it, like, being able to prepare her and be with her and show her that success, like, to be able to do that, to be able to be around and be there for everything, I'm succeeding. Like, work has become second.
Yeah.
When work for so long was number one. And it's really hard. Like, I mean, it's like, you know how it is. It's like, you've got to maintain because you've got to feed that child.
Yeah.
And you've got to provide for your family. So you need to be working, but you also need to be there for your family.
And you got to be a husband too.
And you got to be a husband
on top
too.
of that.
And you could talk about this, but until you experience it, you really have a better understanding. But success in my mind now is to continue to be happy with what I'm doing at home and being there for her and raising her and being there for my family, and then also continuing to enjoy what I do work-wise. When the day comes that I really don't enjoy it, there's a lot of other things that I enjoy.
Yeah.
That, and
Golf.
how I pivot. Yeah, it'd be nice, right? To just
we can go run 18 right now.
right now. And so getting to that point where how do I keep evolving my career and my path to continue to be enjoyable? And there's obviously, like, you're not always going to love your job. You're not always going to love work. There's many times where I've had to go do an event, I've had to travel, and on paper it looks cool, but just had a kid. Like, all I want to do is spend time and be home with her. And, it creates this FOMO that you have, and you're on edge the whole trip, and this and that. And then there's also events. There's plenty of times where I've walked into an event where I just didn't feel great. I just wasn't something that I was that excited about. But got to put on, and keep going. And I know that happens with everybody in every profession. You wake up, and not every day you're excited about your job.
No.
So, but how do I create something that, as time goes on, I can continue to evolve what I'm doing to best suit me, my family? That would be success for me.
Do you attach monetary value to success?
That's an age-old question, right?
Yeah.
Yes and no, and I'll play the fence a little bit here. I don't think that, and like you hear all the time, ask someone who may be super wealthy and they may not, that might not be success.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they do have a lot of money, maybe they have goals that they weren't able to do, or they have guilt because they didn't chase this, or maybe they don't have a family and they always wanted a family.
Yeah.
So they don't feel successful, even though they may be working a job where the income is unreal. And then you talk to people who just get by, but they have everything that they want. They feel successful.
And this isn't a negative thing about my family. My grandpa died in a trailer. My family is from rural West Virginia, and it's like those are some of the happiest people I've ever met, ever.
I aspire to be that.
I'm jealous of that,
yeah.
And I'll be the first to say it. To be that happy and content with less than a normal person has, right? And you can't touch
the success and happiness. It can run together, but it can also go the other way in a sense where I could be successful in my job, but I'm not happy at home, right? And that's not the overall success that I want. I want that balance. I want to be happy at home with your family and friends, and you have that. Having the health, the support, that to me equals success. We're going to be fine work-wise. We all will be.
Yeah.
We're all talented in what we do, and we're going to pay our bills and do all that kind of stuff. I do have goals that I want to reach still, but those goals interfere with me being a father. I don't want those anymore.
Yeah.
And in a negative way. I mean, I'm going to push myself, but like I said, man, being happy with the family, the kid, that kind of stuff, that's the most important to me.
So what it sounds like to me, and I'm still young as hell, but success for me and what it sounds like for you, Eddie, what it sounds like for you, Pat, is being able to control your time.
That's it.
Well, I mean, and that's the most valuable thing, and that's what you have.
Money can't buy it.
Well, you see money when you look at your kid for the first time, and especially when I got married, when I looked at my wife for the first time as my wife, not my girlfriend or my fiance, money is security. Mm-hmm. Money, I like, it's fun to do nice things. It's fun to spoil people. It's fun to take lavish vacations and do all these things. But again, at the end of the day, if anyone knows me, I'm a tight ass. Like, I need that security for my family. And it completely changed to when me and Javon would hit this number or this number, I would attach it to success. So like I saw the snapshot of what my life would look like, but there was no depth behind that snapshot. So I was never happy when I hit that number. But now that I know that, my family is going to be okay if shit goes down, that all of a sudden takes the weight off my shoulders, and I can create, right? I can create again, because again, when you're forced and your back's against the wall, you're just checking boxes, paying the bills, everything's good. But when everything's secured and I can remove myself from that trauma, I can just create again. And I think when you can create, that's when dangerous stuff happens.
Imagine what would happen if so many creatives knew that their bills were going to be paid.
Oh my God, the world would be a different place.
Imagine the businesses, the ideas, collaborations that would happen if most people in that sector could freely never have to worry about putting food on the table and their rent, their mortgage or whatever, and they could just create. And that's, the security is huge, and especially having a family that's first and foremost. But money's great in a lot of ways, from a standpoint that I love vehicles.
Yep.
Gives you options.
I love clothes. I love to shop. Probably
You
more
just
than
got
most
a new
dudes.
truck.
I did.
So I'm going to give the make and model so people don't see it out on the road.
It's black.
But you even tinted the windshield too so people couldn't see in.
Ooh.
Keep the haters out.
Prezi. You got the Prezi.
Got my hater blockers on. You guys
My hater
remember that
blockers
video?
on.
Yeah, I'm wearing blockers.
But yeah, I mean, I love, like I said, I probably like to shop more than your average dude. I like vehicles. I like to spend money.
Yeah.
But at the
So-
same time,
with that being said, I asked Pat this question. I don't know if I asked Baker, Jamie, this question. Would you rather?
Yes.
We on the subject. Would you rather win the lotto? And I'm talking about the big lotto.
You're talking about the latest one.
The big joint.
The big
what was
joint.
That? What was the total of that? What was the total of the last
lots
lotto?
of
Billy, 7-8 Billy.
Hold on.
Can you look that up, Jamie?
Thank you.
Jaker?
Where we at? I know it's over 1. All right.
Wasn't it like 3 billion?
Arbitrary number.
Let's say 3 billion.
Okay.
Would you rather win 3 billion or live twice as long?
I love Would You Rathers. Never actually been asked this before.
I had a trigger response. I didn't even wait.
So, see, I deep dive these so much that like, what
What's
do you
your-
mean twice as long? From like, if I make it to 80
Let's say you arbitrarily
160,
make it to 100.
in the lotto, and I'm gonna have as much fun as I can in my lifetime right now with my family and friends,
Okay.
and I'm gonna retire and I'm gonna live my life. God's plan, baby.
Okay.
Okay.
Respect.
I love that.
I feel like you guys are on the
Pat?
other end, huh?
Pat's on the other end.
I mean, if you give me another couple of years, another 100 years, I'll be able to make as much as the lottery is. So if I have double the lifetime, I'll be okay. I mean, I enjoy life, and I think life is meant to be lived, and I think it's more of a gift than money could ever give me. And not to get deep, but
No, I
like
agree 1,000%.
being someone who was very depressed and all this stuff, the only thing I wanted to do was live without that fear and anxiety. And I heard a quote this week is, peaceful times for people with anxiety could feel like absolute hell. And I'm just getting out of that in the past couple of years. When I'm at peace, I don't feel like my life's going to fall apart, because anxiety is where the brain goes to the worst possible scenario automatically, right? My brain is starting to be hardwired to go to the best possible scenario. And if I can continue that through another 50 to 70 years on top of my life that already is, I'm going to be a peaceful person for another 100 years. I would love to live 29 or whatever my age is now, again, in a completely peaceful mindset. So that's where my...
You'd be 129.
I love your.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I love your answer, and I would agree with that too. So I could obviously feel the same way. But my first thought was, if am I the only one out of my family and friends that's living double?
That's what I
don't want
see.
to
That's
live
where my head was at.
double when I've got to witness
Everyone else
and
is
go
gone.
through all of my closest people.
People's gone. No, let's get that Billy. Give me that check. I'm gonna give everybody 100 milli. Let's get it
We're
popping.
gonna have the
But-
best time.
We're going.
Just go around.
Agreed, but he didn't give me all the extra.
No. You create the external
I
factors.
was bringing everyone with me for the next double life.
If we can figure that
If
out.
that's
I'm
the
gonna
case, of course.
Yeah,
100%
if I have to
down.
live alone for
Yeah,
the
that
second half of
that's.
my life,
I mean, that was my first thought. It's like
I'm not
I don't
gonna-
want to.
That was my first thought. I
I
just
don't
read this question on the internet.
I don't
Okay.
want to double down
Okay.
being solo. I mean, like I'll be straight because I'll just go make new friends. But if my wife's listening to this, she's like, "What does that mean? You're about to marry again?" And I guess I'll marry again and create new kids.
if I had to do a dolo, I would not answer the question the same.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be alone.
But
for
both
100 years.
ends of that are where we both got deep
Yeah.
is perfect.
Yeah.
It's family. Well,
Yeah.
again, I could not have this conversation without laying eyes on my kid and my wife.
Mhm.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
You just can't. You can't replicate that energy.
We got more would you rather's, I hope.
I know that you guys could say
They can look
that.
some up
I have some.
while we're talking about other things. I'd love would you
Yeah, I
rather.
think
So
I do this
I
for hours.
I think we can ask a couple would you rathers. We got a little bit more time left. I know there's a bigger interest of business people that are listening to this podcast. I know there's a lot of kids that will come up to me and ask me and tell me, I learned this, and this from the podcast.
Love that.
It's very general for me right now. Like if someone's asked us how we monetize fitness, I could give you 3 different tiers and pricing structures and all these things. How do you monetize being a DJ?
Great,
How do you
amazing question.
Yeah.
That there. So let me take you back, kind of maybe 5 years into when I started DJing and all of that,
And at 5 years, you were how old into being a DJ? 25, 26?
something like that. Yeah. And so I ran into multiple situations where people would be like, "Well, can't do that forever. How are you going to make money? Or how do you make, like, there's no understanding, right? There's just I didn't have a standard job. I didn't have a standard route that I was going. I didn't, graduate college and and follow a job path, which is amazing. That's your route. It wasn't my route. I had to answer a lot of questions, or I had to kind of on the fly answer those questions. How do you sustain this? How do you do this? You can't do that forever. Like, oh, that's fun for right now. Like, you're going to get a real job. Like, that type of stuff.
And how many of these are coming from your dad?
Actually, my parents have been unbelievably supportive.
Really?
Man, shout out.
That's beautiful.
Unbelievably supportive.
Shout out.
That's beautiful.
To the point, I mean, my dad has played music all his life, and he
Yeah.
understands that. And he owned his own business growing up. He was, contractor as we were growing up our whole life. So, he was a business owner and that type of thing. But that created like a chip on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Why are you opening a gym, man? There's a million. What's gonna, how are you gonna sustain that? How are you gonna build the client base?
So like I'm talking to my dad right now.
Correct. Yeah. So those type of questions were asked, and
Yeah.
so obviously you think about that. You're like, okay, but you're living in the moment. You're like, this is perfect right now. I'm at this club. We're doing this. We're
Yeah.
traveling here, doing the spring break event. That type of thing. Little bit of an eye into the future, but not really.
Yeah.
So as time went on, starting out, you can make money from just being a DJ, right? You get hired by whatever club bar, and they pay you at the end of the night. You go from there. So there's that, and then you do events in the same type of thing, where you could get hired for an event and they pay you, and that's how you're raising money. That's how you're bringing in money and income. I always knew that I wanted multiple revenue streams, and multiple routes.
No doubt.
So whether that be hosting an event, or just DJing an event, or getting involved with the brand as a brand ambassador or a sponsor, or helping to connect those dots, those were different revenue streams that I wanted to create for myself. So there's different revenue streams that I always wanted to create, and avenues. And as time went on, I knew that I didn't want to just limit myself or have all of my eggs in one basket, because there wasn't security there, right?
Yeah, right.
And I knew I wanted to evolve in this. So getting involved with brands, different types of events, different clients, I knew that I could open myself up to bring in the financials that I felt comfortable and created that success, right?
Yeah.
And doing that throughout the years really put me in a position to, set myself up financially by having a hand in those different streams and those different avenues. And that's, I attribute that to, everything as far as like, how do I monetize this? Like by opening it up and not just one stream.
So if I wanted to hire you for a DJ and an MC, is there a separate price for a DJ and MC, or is it a joint price for both, or is the MC and DJ pretty similar prices?
It depends on the event. I mean, I do multiple events with different companies, from Boys and Girls Club, American Heart Association, P&G, where they just need me to be an MC. And so,
do you base it off the number of people that is at that event, or is it?
Not typically. It's usually what goes into the event and the hours, and whether it's a new client or if it's somebody that I've worked with for a while. I always love to, if I'm going to start working with, let's say, an organization like the American Heart Society, right, or whatever, and they're like, hey, we have this event coming up. What do you charge? We'd like you to MC it. Well, it isn't just like that one-off charge. I don't want to just give them a price and do that. Do you have 5 events a year? How many events do you have that we can potentially team up on?
That's smart.
And I could offer you a different type of rate. So then, A, you don't have to go out there and search every single time you have an event for someone to MC it, DJ it, or whatever you want. And then I can give you a friendlier rate each event. So
you built retention into your business. That's beautiful, bro.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So that's always a conversation, whether I'm DJing, I'm MCing, combined. Some events need both. Some events I'm working the mic and, I'm DJing, from when I've done the Bearcats over the years, and sprint out there and MC, and then sprint back here and DJ, and that goes for sports, branding, any type of event, from Kroger to the Reds.
Leads into the next would you rather. So,
Amazing.
would you rather DJ MC the Super Bowl
Like The Rock, he did an awful job.
or Game 7 of the NBA Finals?
Easy Super Bowl.
Why?
I respect. I'm sorry that I answered so quickly.
Yeah, that was the thing.
I was gonna say, is that really?
Not a basketball guy.
For one, no, I love basketball, and honestly, I would rather do the Final Four than the NBA. No offense to my NBA lovers.
That's a big
I love the
gig.
NBA.
That's a big gig.
NBA is awesome.
NBA's not
It's
selling
fun.
out football stadiums for the Final Four, though.
No, I know.
Yeah.
College basketball is unbelievable.
Okay.
One of my favorite things to be tapped in. But
Let me
yes,
change
Super
that.
Bowl.
NCAA National Championship, Georgia TCU game, or National Championship March Madness?
That's a better question. Give me a stage at the NCAA men's basketball
Okay.
national championship between
All right.
Duke and North Carolina.
All right.
And
Incredible.
give me that over Alabama, Ohio State, and whatever that championship bowl is. I think I'm going to take that. There's something about basketball that's so fun
That
to be
arena.
involved with, and it's just close knit.
Mm-hmm.
I love Bearcat football games. Nip at night. I mean, if you ask me, my top 5 most, I got chills type of event. Nip at night. A few years back, UCLA. We beat them. Unbelievable environment. It's top 5.
Incredible. Yeah, that was a good one.
And then the other side for basketball, you're looking at not a March Madness, but a crosstown shootout
Yeah.
at UC. It's just it's a different vibe. They're both amazing, but being indoor, close knit, right there by the court,
It just smells like Skyline and Greater Summer Roses.
Yeah.
exactly, which I'm 100% down for.
Okay. Last thing. Of would you rather? Skyline, Graders, La Roses. You had to eat one forever.
And you got to
I think
give
I
us
know
your
your
actual order.
I think
Like your order if you're going to
Skyline
choose Raiders.
Raiders and
La Roses.
The trifecta.
Where were you at last
this
night?
is where we get deep. Okay,
This is the Cincinnati trifecta.
Where'd you take your
we've
beautiful?
got a great working relationship with Skyline.
Throw
and
the partnerships
Raiders.
out.
So we're okay. So let's get deep. My favorite of the 3, Skyline. Okay. I can't go Graders because it's more dessert. I love sweets. I got a sweet tooth, but it's not sustainable for me.
Yeah.
And I know they do sweets. It's sweets, right? So it's not sustainable for me. La Rosa's, I always tell people this. La Rosa's has umpteenth options on their menu that are all good.
Yeah.
Like I don't even really get pizza at La Rosa's.
What do you get?
I get the steak hoagie.
Yes.
I get the JoJo's
My
BLT
man.
salad.
Okay.
I
okay.
get the house. Like there's so many out. They're boneless wings. Slap.
Yeah, it's like a restaurant. It's not just
So
like
you
a
have
pizza
options,
spot.
right? So I gotta go La Rosa's because I can work in like a breakfast, lunch, dinner regimen there. I can't see myself doing that.
So you're saying
for breakfast at La
At La Rosa's? I mean, do they do like an egg roll up or something I can make? Dude, I don't know. Let's get Buddy on here.
What do
Do you do an egg roll up?
Is Buddy still around?
Yeah,
OG.
the ledge,
OG.
baby.
With
the
the,
ledge. He's like
with the
95 or
glasses that get dark
97.
when
Got to
you
be almost 100.
Bifocals.
You got the glasses that get dark when you go outside and then they lighten back up.
Yeah,
Come back
them
up.
are vibes.
Yeah. I gotta go La Rosa's. It's more sustainable.
More sustainable, more options. Although, if we have to claim, because we love Victory Mondays, I try not to go off my diet on a Victory Monday, but when the Bengals win the Super Bowl this year, what are we eating for Victory Monday, baby?
All right, we're gonna plug our favorite spots in the city right now, I guess.
No free plugs?
Out there. Do you want me to
I mean,
start?
this is easy for me, but go ahead.
I mean, I'm going to a nice Pep and Dolores dinner after this. That's a good Italian spot.
Shout out Thunderdome.
Shout out.
There's 2 restaurants that I frequent a lot. One, there's the best steakhouse in the country that I think, Carlo and Johnny. Jeff Ruby's is amazing. Carlo and Johnny is my favorite Jeff Ruby's, no matter the city, the state, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite restaurant in the country is Alfio's.
Okay.
1,000,000% agree.
Alfio, trained to the gym actually.
We're gonna get him on the pod.
I've been eating there for 4 years before I ever pitched him on training, right? So he's from Argentina. I cannot wait for him to tell a story on here. He's from Argentina. His grandma, he has one grandma from Italy and one grandma from Argentina. They live in the same house together. So literally, this man grew up with Argentinian and Italian hybrid cuisine. Came up here and cooks and makes that menu. So he has his great grandmas and his
Nothing
grandmas. It's amazing.
The vibes.
So that's
Espresso
Does he
martinis
know
there.
Messi?
I don't think so.
Okay.
He would have like Salt Bay. I think it would have been.
Do you have a
one
piece of
those.
paper? Her? Those?
Yes.
We're gonna write something down real quick while we're on here.
But yeah, so I'm going Alfio's
That's fine.
as my Victory Monday meal.
Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna write down real quick as you guys are talking about I want you to answer that and hijack the podcast. I'm going to write down my 5 favorite restaurants in Cincinnati.
Did you have to write them down? They're not your favorite.
They are, but I just got to make sure I have them all right here.
Okay. I would say for my Victory Monday meal, I'm going to probably go. It's got to be from Cincy, right? Alfio's is from Cincy, but I like to stay edgy, stay on the edge. I like to take it back, go back to the roots a little bit. I'm going down to Clifton.
Well, I know
You're going to Steak and Lemonade, aren't you?
No, I know where he's going.
He knows where I'm going. Where we going, Pat?
Staple?
You gotta get them Sparkies and Martinos.
Yes, sir.
Sparky wings and Martinos.
Give me that. And you know what the best part about that? It's a Steelers bar, and I'm walking in there all Bengals.
The best part is Hot Rod Charlie's tattoo shop that we all got tatted at for a long time. So shout out to those guys at Hot Rod Charlie's.
I may go to Adriatico's too, though.
Adriatico slaps.
Slaps.
Bake. What's your favorite restaurant in the city?
I got to get a rack of ribs from Montgomery Inn.
Okay.
Interesting. That's a solid choice. Solid choice.
Cincinnati staple.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Montgomery Inn family, the Gregories. Good people. I have 5 restaurants, and I've thought about this before. Don't cheat. Don't look, bro. This isn't Bateman High School.
Bro,
You've been thinking about this, Ed.
My mic is dead, but we're going to keep this going. I'm dyslexic. You want me to read
Your mic is dead.
upside down? Okay,
Yeah.
I got you.
So I have 5 favorite restaurants, and this is no particular order. So my back.
No. It's okay.
Don't worry.
Don't worry about it. No, we're all right.
This is the beauty of live podcast.
Agreed. This is it.
5 restaurants, no particular order. Carlo and Johnny. Skyline Chili. Corrido.
Ooh, I love Corrido, man.
Plus 3. Trace. Silver Spring House.
Oh, I thought you were going to hit another S.
I've actually never been there.
I'm wrong.
I'll take you there. It does.
I want to go back. But I think it's overrated.
Mm.
I'm glad his mic's not working. 5. The Pride of the West Side.
Ooh.
Wild Mike's Chicken Wings, bro. Wild
Ooh, I forgot about
I would
it.
die on that hill that Wild Mike's is the wing of all wings. I don't want to hear any knockback Nats,
No, I agree.
Tavern, Midway Cafe, because those are all amazing, but they're a different type of wing, and we could do a whole podcast
I'm
on
about
this.
to.
And I get frustrated because people forget about Wild Mike's, and it is a different type of wing than the Oak Tavern.
I need my mic back on.
Every time I used to come back to Cincinnati when I lived in Florida, me and Pat watched a football game. Pat, you know where we're going. Got to go to Wild Mike's. Call them. Give me 50 wings.
Yep.
We are extra wet. Come on.
Yep.
I need that self.
And they got the Mike's Mix, bro. The Mike's Mix is undefeated.
Undefeated.
What about? I'm talking to a mic that doesn't exist. What about on your side of town, closer to where we grew up, the Frickers wing?
Frickers wings aren't bad. I haven't had them in a while.
The full wing. You're
Yeah,
talking
it's the
about not the
actual-
mini one. Talking about the full crispy
The
joint.
full crispy joint. They are good. I haven't had Frickers in a minute. I agree with you.
Ooh, that's a good wing.
Up in Dayton, Frickers is like king.
Dude, Frickers is huge.
King up in Dayton.
Okay, real quick then. Favorite pizza in the city. Shout out La Rosa's. Like I said, I don't get pizza there all the time.
So easy.
Favorite pizza.
So easy.
We're gonna have the same answer.
Taglio.
Hot honey.
Taglio.
Hot honey,
Boom.
pepperoni,
Bacon.
money every time. Deep dish.
Detroit style.
Shoot, there was this New York pizza spot over by my parents' house. That was the best one. I don't know what
Is
it's
it Brooklyn
called. It's
Pizza?
over.
Brooklyn
No,
Pizza?
it was a different one. It's gone now. It's completely
Okay.
gone. It was from a
Okay.
guy who, his father was straight from Italy. Started it, own company, like they hand cured like the pepperonis, like
Okay.
everything.
Legit.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's
this-
all you had to say.
That was
Yeah.
I don't know where it is or if
Pepperonis,
it's.
and I was like,
I'm
find
getting
out.
I'm getting
Yeah.
hungry right now.
I will say this one little quick funny story. When I was in England one time, we were at my cousin's local pub or whatever, and they got a food truck outside, and they're like, "Oh, it's pizza out there. You hungry? Go get a pizza." I'm like, oh, "Let's go." I'm buzzed right now. I've got a lot of drinks in me. I'm like, I'm so hungry. I haven't ate since it's probably like 10 p.m. We haven't ate since 5, and I'm like, I'm starving. And it's pizza. Seems kind of American. Like, let's go for it. So I go get the pizza. Pay like $10 for this pizza, whatever it was. It's like $10 in US, maybe like 6 pounds or 7 pounds, whatever that costs. And they making the pizza, and they're like, "Go back inside. We'll come back and get you." I'm like, "All right, cool." So I come back out. They come out, get me. I'm like, "Cool." I open the box of pizza, bro. Yo, they disrespected your mans, bro. They literally looked like one of them Lunchable Johns, bro. I was like, yo, y'all don't know how to make no pizza, bro.
Did you get a cookie in that package?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
I love Taglio. I go a little. I go the same route, Detroit style pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Jets Pizza is my favorite.
Ooh.
It's more of a chain,
You grew up on it.
but I love Jets. And Casano's is so good.
Dude, that's the Hamilton one.
That's
right?
Another king of Dayton, bro.
King of Dayton.
There's one in
Shout out to
Hamilton,
Dayton.
correct?
There's one in Monroe. There's one in Fairfield.
Okay, that's okay.
Borders Hamilton.
Yeah.
And those are the two closest probably to us. And then in Dayton, you got all them joints.
Yeah, bro.
Casano's Pizza King, baby.
Casano's. Another good Dayton pizza joint, Marion's Pizza.
Marion's
Never
Pizza
had
slaps. Same kind of style.
Exactly.
That small cardboard.
Mm-hmm.
You know they
Thin
put
crust.
salt on the Casano's pizza.
Dude,
On the crust.
yeah.
The crust or salt.
At one time, though, I did have to ask for light salt.
Is that
'Cause I'm
legal?
like,
You have to ask the last question. What we always ask every.
Is that
I
legal?
can't get the mic.
what's last question? Last two questions. First one's a would you rather. Would you rather open up for James Brown or Elvis?
Those are
I'm
both.
gonna get deep. It's a quick answer, but it's deep. I can't move my hips like Elvis, so if I'm opening up, people are gonna be bored. Be like, bro, let Elvis do his thing. And I think that he might during his time been more of a phenomenon amongst everyone than James Brown was during his time, and that's no disrespect to James Brown because I answer the question by saying that I want to open up for James Brown when he's performing as Rocky Balboa comes out to the stage to fight Ivan Drago. Shout out to Rocky. And if it was, I think it was that specific Rocky. But if I could perform before Rocky Balboa comes out and then James Brown goes and he does his Living in America,
Right.
sign me up.
That's
Okay.
it.
That's I like that picture you painted there. Now, last question we always ask our guests. Thank you very much for being on our pod today, man.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for the
Appreciate
vibes.
you.
Black sheep, man. What does that mean to you?
The term, you could look up the term black sheep in the dictionary and you get that term, that answer right there. To me personally, I think it's kind of living with or having that little bit of chip on your shoulder, no matter what, when you're navigating through business, through life. Maybe you were doubted a little bit. Maybe you told people what you wanted to do in life and the career path you wanted to pursue, and it wasn't always welcomed, or there were a lot of questions or doubt. And as you continue to navigate through that, from the start, in the very beginning, that you were taking that risk, but you had the right mindset for it, and you were willing to do it, and you're kind of living with that. You're kind of living with a little bit of that chip on your shoulder. You're going to succeed no matter what. You're going to push yourself to be there, and whether that is being a father, being a business owner, being a doctor, whatever you're doing, it's that mentality. I think Black Sheep is a mentality, and it's of grit, it's of determination, and I think that what you guys are spreading at your gym, it's bigger than the gym. And to me, being a Black Sheep is a little bit of you doubt it, a little bit of this, but you're going no matter what, foot on the gas.
If people want to find you, you can't hear my mic, but if people want to find you, socials, everything you want to drop here.
Yeah, at DJ Etrayn, DJEtrayn on all socials. Hit me up. I love chatting with people when it comes to business. I've had the opportunity, just like you, to speak to Indian Hill, Marymount, all different types of schools and even colleges around the area, and kind of telling our story. It's somewhat of a unique story, so reach out. There's people who also have questions about DJing, and hit me up.
I can speak from experience, and I don't think my mic is working, so I'll talk a little louder, but I can speak from experience that, Eddie, if you are... Hey, sounds like I'm on the radio again.
Yeah, deep voice.
Yeah.
Damn.
If you want to be, if you're out in public, if you see Eddie on the stage, I really, really encourage you to walk up to him, I encourage you not to ask him to play a certain song. I encourage you to walk up, dap him up, and you will never, ever, ever not be greeted with a smile, positivity, a dap, love, a picture. Eddie will always make time for you. But more importantly, if you want to learn about what it takes, I don't look up to a lot of people. I've looked up to Eddie for 4.5 years now. He's never steered me wrong. He's a good guy. He's consistent. But if you see him out in public, he's always out. Please walk up to him. Make time, take time out of your day to do it, and I promise you'll learn something from him and have a good conversation. Nothing but love.
Clap it up.
I appreciate that. Please do. Please come say hi. I love saying hi. I love chatting.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
We out.